everyone, welcome back to the channel again. Today we're back on GT Sport and we're back with the FIA pre-season Manufacturers Championship. It's round 6 and it's at BB Raceway. Qualifying did not go very well at all for this. 2 of my laps got ruined when I was going around the corner, and some people coming out of the pits just sideswiped me, not looking when they were coming out the pits, which was a bit frustrating as it's not hard to look at the track map. So we're starting in P6 with a really frustrating lap because I should have been in I did a practice session before, and with full fuel I was getting 25.3s, and I just didn't get any sort of help in the lap. It was just like traffic in the way and then cars coming out in front of me. I didn't get any slipstream help, nothing, so it was a bit of a disaster. But still, starting P6 it's not a disaster. You know, we're still in the front quarter of the grid, so it's not too bad. You can see there P10 again, Pomponku, guy who was at the live finals in the Nürburgring. He's in a lot of my videos. He's a very fast driver. Going through the grid, there was quite a few big names again in this race. Not quite as big as obviously the Bathurst race, because this track you'll find a lot of people will just leave this out because it can be a bit of a disaster. Also, it's not the most enjoyable track for a lot of people. I'm not a particular fan of it, but it's okay fun when you're doing it. But it's not a track I would pick to race over a proper racetrack. But it's still good fun. Obviously, I think the BOP changes on this track for the cars, because I noticed that the Ferrari goes up to like 700 and something horsepower, so they must change the BOP for this track specifically, which was quite interesting because I didn't know they did that. I thought it'd stay the same, but I don't know if it's definite, but I'm sure I seen it say the BOP was 700 horsepower for this track for the Ferrari. But anyway, you can see they're starting from P6. We're just going to try and keep the footage like this for most of the race because I want to concentrate on the action. So I wanted to show you something as well with this strategy. Obviously, starting from P6, I wanted to go on to quite a fuel saving strategy, so you're going to see me straight away. Look how early I'm shifting through the gears here now, straight away from the start. I was just going to do fuel saving all the way because I know the Ferrari is very good at maintaining okay acceleration whilst doing short shifting. So with starting P6, there was no point me trying to work my way up to them up ahead because it would probably end up in disaster. So I was just going short shifting. You see I'm already in 6th gear, just trying to stay in the slipstream, doing a lot of short shifting. You can see a lot of cars weaving around each other. I've got Callum behind me in that Ford, very fast Ford on the straight lines, and we've got the Renault in front of us. I like the livery on that Renault, great livery. And you can see there we managed to get past P5 as he made a mistake going into the wall and lost quite a lot of time. So we're up to P5, so okay, so everything's okay so far. We're doing that short shifting. You can see how much short shifting we're doing. You know, the fuel's plenty of fuel. What I wanted to do, the plan was at this stage to do the short shifting now, and then in the pit stop phase fill it up enough to go really aggressive on the last stint and really try and rev the car out and get the better lap times in then. That was a plan anyway. So you can see there going behind P4, we're trying to get in the slipstream a bit, but I wasn't really too worried. You can still see I'm short shifting. I'm not worrying too much. I can see that Ford behind me. He's going to make a move into turn 1. I can see he's got ahead, so I give him that position. I could have fought that round the outside a bit, but he was a little bit too far ahead. I had been practicing doing the outside line on that corner in the practice session because it's the only place someone can really overtake you on this track. So that's where I was doing a lot of my practicing for defence of running wide and trying to maintain speed around that corner, which you'll see in this race. As you can see there now, we've got the Renault RS01 going to have a little look down that inside, but he decides not to go for it as I had the slipstream with that Ford in front of me. So it's not too bad at this moment. I didn't mind obviously being back in P6 because I've now got the slipstream of that Ford in front of me, so that can help me out for a couple of laps to save even more fuel. Because without him there, we probably wouldn't be able to. We wouldn't be in the slipstream of them top cars and saving the fuel. Maybe I should have got more aggressive in this race. I'm not too sure how I should have played this really. Starting P6, so I wanted to just go and save the fuel in this first stint. As you can see there, the little moment as the rear wanted to step out. Not really tyre wear related. That was more my error. Coming out the corner, I got the power a little bit too hard and nearly lost the rear. The tyres were not actually that much of an issue in the Ferrari at this track, which was really surprising. I'm not sure if we could have done a few extra laps. If anything, it probably could have done, but what I was doing was just trying to take it really easy and save just the fuel, and that would in itself save some of the tyre wear as well. As you can see, going through this long corner, I do think I need to fix my line for that corner. I was noticing a lot of other people going high and then like lower into the corner, which was helping out on the next corner. So maybe I should start doing that. As you can see there, we got another Ferrari up ahead of us with a penalty. So at this stage you can see we're fairly close to P2, 3 and 4, and P1 seems to be running away with it a bit there. V Cristiano, I think his name is, pulling away, but he's in the RCF, probably one of the faster cars at this track. Lexus is up there with the Supra, I think, for how good it is, although the Supra tends to, I think, wears its tyres quite fast at this track. I know when I was doing it on a daily race, it was just killing its tyres really fast. Anyway, as you can see there, we've still got that RS01 very close behind, probably saving fuel as well. I get the feeling he might have been saving a bit more fuel than me. We'll have to have a little look when we go in the pits what the fuel readings were. I didn't actually check when we were in the pits what other people's fuel was, and you'll see why in a bit. A little bit of a mistake I made when I went in the pits, but you're going to see now I'm trying to get back onto the slipstream of that Ford. I knew that, you know, we're third of the way through this race, and we've got P2, 3, 4 and 5 all right in front of us. At this stage everything looked okay because I knew I was saving a lot of fuel. I felt like I was probably saving more fuel than some of the cars ahead of me. The Ford, I think the Ford's quite aggressive on its fuel if you drive it quite hard. I'm not too sure whether he was going flat out at this stage or not. It'll be interesting to see what the fuel readings were as we go in the pits and see what other people were on in the fuel stop, in the fuel phase. So as you can see there, we had a massive moment coming out of that corner, that turn 1, which was an issue if you got on the power too early, and it's lost me that slipstream of the car in front, which was really frustrating. We're nearly in it, but you can see there by the time he's coming around this corner, we're taking the tight line through here, and then we're not quite in it. We see we're 1 second behind, so we're pretty much out of that slipstream now, and that was quite an important thing because I really needed to be in that slipstream to help my fuel saving and also to obviously help my position in the race. You can see someone has pitted extremely early there, P19 going in the pits and coming out there, so he's obviously been a little bit behind us when he's gone in. Really strange. I wouldn't have pitted that early. Obviously with the tyres, it seems quite a brave move to do because you're then going to be really struggling at the end of the race to get to the end. I know that this Ferrari at this stage was feeling okay on the tyres. I couldn't obviously push it anywhere near as hard as what I would have liked to. I think I could have been revving it out more. Obviously you can see I'm still changing gear very early, trying to save as much fuel as I can. You can see there going through these corners, going into 6th gear there, that's going to lose your time because it doesn't accelerate as well as 5th gear will on that corner. So I was just more worried about saving as much fuel as I could because I could see there we're coming up to pit stop phase and we've got Callum who's only about 1.3 seconds ahead of us. So if I've saved a good amount of fuel, we might be able to get the jump on him come the pit stop phase as we're coming up to the final lap before we go into pit. So one more time round and then we'll be pitting. You can see someone's pitted there with 51%, dead on the same as us. So whoever that was who went in the pits there had the exact same amount of fuel as we had, so they've obviously been saving fuel also. And we're now going to go through this corner and see when we go to the pit stop phase what some of the cars are when we come into the pits to see what fuel they were on. As you can see there now, let's just have a little look. I made a terrible mistake at this point of the race. You're going to see straight away. You can see other people on them. We actually had probably the most fuel out of everyone if you look at that. I think the RS01 had more, but when I went in the pits, I just totally, I was in qualifying mode and I don't know what I did, but it's frustrating to see there that we actually saved quite a lot of fuel compared to other drivers. I changed the tyres on and I clicked do not refuel. So we had to now go to the end of the race with not much fuel really. I mean, luckily I had been doing the fuel saving in the first stint, so I would have only ever had to do a quick splash and dash in the pits. Anyway, you can see there the RS01 also chose not to add fuel in the pits. I noticed that when I was watching the race back, he didn't fuel up as well, and that's why he came out right behind me. What I did want to do at this phase though was probably put just a couple of seconds worth of fuel in, just so that I can go really aggressive on the last stint. So now I've got to run that 2 fuel mixture or for a few laps to try and get it back to the fuel level I need, because obviously I've been doing short shifting and that saves fuel anyway. So what I'm doing now is short shifting and running fuel mixture 2, which is really frustrating because I did not want to be doing this. The advantage is we actually gained a few positions. Obviously we got past P6 and we got past we got past the RSO. Well, we didn't get past the RSO when we came out ahead of the RSO one, but then we're down to P5 now, as I think Oscaro Indy Food has come out of the pits, and obviously got that position back where he's pitted late. So we're now in P5, but we've got Callum behind us, who's probably going to be able to run full fuel. And he was actually, when we came out of the pits, he was over 2 seconds behind me. So it's really frustrating, because if I would have just put fuel in for maybe just a quick splash and dash, just like a quick second or two, we might have come out directly behind him with his slipstream and been able to just drive flat out to the end. So it was really frustrating that I did that mistake. I didn't want to do it. It was just natural reaction from when we pitted in qualifying, and we were just obviously doing no fuel. But you can see there, we're going to try our best to hold them off. I've obviously got to use 2 fuel mixtures as much as possible, and obviously 1 if I need to. You can see we're nearly caught up, but obviously that's based on how we've been driving for the first 20 odd laps. So I've still got to do a little bit more fuel saving, and I'll still have to do short shifting pretty much to the end to make sure I can get to the end of the race now. So it was a really annoying race for me, because I didn't want to do this in the last stint. The aim was to do the fuel saving in the first stint and then drive it really aggressive in the next stint. So you can see there, the RSO one went to go on the inside there. We braked really late. He backed out the move. Again, the games give penalties out for no reason. He apologised for me for that move, which I don't think he really needed to. It was more the game. It didn't really, no one needed a penalty there, but I got a 2-second penalty because the game just wanted to give me it. And then you can see there, we're going side by side now with Callum into this turn 1. Again, I'm going to hold the outside line. He holds it on the inside. We're side by side still. This is great racing this now. You can see that I'm going to take the high route, try and get round the outside. I managed to get in front of him, and we take that corner well. And you can see now, this is even more frustrating. You can see another 3 seconds worth of penalties, and look at this. It says here, Callum, a 1 second penalty. So he hit me from behind, which it wasn't even worth a penalty anyway, but it says he got the 1 second and I got the 3 second. And it even shows me as him having a penalty. You can see there, as he gets past us there, it shows me as him having a penalty on the screen there. But watch this for great racing. There was no reason, I don't understand why anyone got a penalty in this, because you watch this, we're going side by side. Great racing all the way through this corner now. I hold the outside line, he holds the inside line. There's no contact there. Perfect racing. There was a tiny bit of contact there, but I can't believe that would give a penalty. There was the tiniest bit of contact, and then coming through this corner, I think he may have tapped my rear there. But again, there was no reason for anyone to get a penalty in that situation. He didn't deserve one, I didn't deserve one. I've now got 5 seconds worth of penalties. But at the end of the race, it said that he had no penalties in the race, and he also said he got a clean race with no penalties. But on my screen, it shows him as having a penalty, and this is what I'm saying about the penalty system being something wrong with it at the moment, because look on my screen now, it's showing that he's got a penalty above his car, but he said he didn't have any penalties. I think at the end of the race he said that he had a clean race, so no penalties. And on the screen, on the finishing screen, which I'll show you at the end of the race, it shows him as having no penalty. So there is something playing up. It's like the Monza race. There was a few people that noticed at Monza as well, that it was saying that there are penalties on my screen, but they didn't. So there's something clearly going on. As you can see there now, this is really frustrating. The guy there just clean went through me as if I wasn't even there. I'm going to go back and show that now. There definitely seems to have been a lot of issues with this ghost system recently. And this is quite a dangerous issue really, because it was dangerous driving by V Cristiano or whatever his name is anyway, because at this point now he should be lifting and just braking and just accepting that he can't overtake. He just decides to risk going straight through my car at that phase, and that is worrying, that he would even try that there. He must know that there's something that was going to ghost or something, or there would be some reason why his car would ghost. It's very strange, and I can't explain it. I don't know why it happened, and maybe someone else will know why, but for me it's worrying that he even tried that, because if that didn't ghost, he was clean going to wipe me out. So a little bit weird. My car wasn't ghosting at the time, his car wasn't ghosting at the time, so why was he able to just go straight through my car? Very strange. I have no idea what was going on there. But anyway, we're back getting onto race A. You can see now, we've done an okay job. If you consider, like, we've had no fuel really to really drive aggressively. We've had to do pretty much short shifting all the way around. You can see they're changing gear fairly early, and we're still holding on to Callum there. in P5 with a few laps to go, and this is what frustrates me, because I think if we were to put fuel in just enough, just for like maybe a quick 5% or 10%, just so we could run aggressive to the end, I think we would have been in for a top 4, 5, maybe a top 5, 5th position or something like that. It would have been a good battle with Callum. I think we would have been fighting pretty much to the end, but proper been able to fight, because I would have been able to stay in his slipstream and obviously rev the car out and try and make a move on him. But at this stage I can't really do it. I'm driving a little bit more aggressively now, because I know that I'm getting more there on the fuel. I've realised I can rev a bit harder, but I'm still not being able to rev it fully, as you can see there. As soon as I started doing that, I was able to gain, and this really scared me. I had to just do some weird braking. I don't know what happened there, whether they braked really early for some reason, whether P4 braked early and caught Callum out, and then that had a chain reaction of catching me out, because I braked where I normally do, and the closing time I panicked, but I just had to slam on. Luckily I didn't hit the wall, and there was no real incident there. But you see, we're coming up to 2 laps to go now. We've got 29 and 30. Look how close it is. This is what really frustrated me about what I did in the pits. And we've got the RS01 still right behind us, pushing us really hard in this race, as I hit the wall there and lost a little bit of time to these guys up ahead. But the racing's getting really close. You can see the Renault's really close to us. We're going to have to go defensive now. He's right up on my inside there. You can see he's on the inside of my car. I knew he was there. You can see me have a little look back. I know he's right into that left hand side. I'm going to try and hang it round the outside again and see if we can defend this position. As you can see there, don't go into the corner too early. And that line, it was really working out for me practicing that line in practice, because I was able to defend the outside there. The Ferrari had a lot of grip on that corner, on that outside line. It was really strange. But you can see there, we're coming up to the final line now. I've got to try and get rid of this 5 seconds of penalty that was not really for any reason. It's not been the best of the race really. You can see there, we're going to brake, and I braked a little bit too late again. I didn't judge it very well, and I didn't get rid of all my penalties. And we end up P8, which was a bit frustrating, because I think I had the pace to be in the top 5. If I would have put the right amount of fuel in, I think it would have been a very close battle with Callum. I think I would have been battling with him throughout the whole race, but unfortunately I made that error in the pits, which ruined my first stint for the strategy I was on, as I was then having to run it again in the second stint. But not much you could do. It was purely because I was too much in the mind frame of doing it from qualifying. And then really weird things where he drove through us also is really strange. And the penalty system again, not really encouraging racing. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it was more to do with the fact that me and Callum were having a great race in that when we were going side by side. It was really good, and I enjoyed that part of the race. It felt really good to be racing that close to someone at that speed, and there was no contact that caused any harm. There was no crash, but the game penalises us for it. So again, I think they need to really have a little look at this penalty system. Although, from what I've heard from the drivers at the Nürburgring, Polyphony have stated that they think the penalty system is realistic in its current state. So, you know, whether they've just saying that or not, I hope not. I hope it's just like that they've got confused with what people are saying, and maybe they meant unrealistic, and they need to fix it. But I have no idea, but let's just see what they do in the future. Anyway, guys, I did enjoy that race, even though it wasn't the best result. It was fun racing that close to some of the drivers and defending on the outside line. I did a reasonable job at defending that outline, but unfortunately, then penalties ruined the P6. It would have been P6 that I got. But and the fueling at the pit stop, I don't know what I was doing. I totally messed that one up. Anyway, guys, hopefully we can have a better round next round. It's going to be on a proper racetrack this time, I think. I'm not sure what the next round is on the. I think it's Suzuka actually. Yeah, Suzuka in the GR4, and that should be really interesting in the Ferrari GR4. I expect it to be reasonably good there. Anyway, guys, thanks again for watching, and we'll be back with more GT Sport videos very soon. So make sure you hit that subscription button, and make sure you hit that notification button so you don't miss any future videos. Thanks again for watching.